remote learning and during this pandemic, whereby there was a great deal of uncertainty and unpredictability, what each day, week, and month would bring, tensions and anxiety were definitely higher during these times, and the counselors looked for ways that we could proactively support the community, the students, parents, and teachers throughout this challenging time. Working remotely, we were missing easily seeing what was going on with our students when we would pass them in the hallway, stopped and had a brief chat with them in the cafeteria, etc. And so we had to find ways to do our work remotely, as did everyone else. So now Rebecca will elaborate more about what that was like.
So good evening. I'm Rebecca Silverstein. I'm the 9th and 10th grade counselor. And it has certainly been a year of challenges for everyone, no less for students who are negotiating that period of adolescence with the high school students for sure, which is a challenge even at the best of times. This is a time when the peer group is of great importance, and many have had to spend a lot of time in social isolation. It's had an impact on their social life, on honing their social skills and the relationship skills. And they've had to adjust to a different way of learning. So there have been lots of adjustments that they've had to make. There's a branch of psychology called positive psychology. And one of the things it talks about is giving us happiness boosters to recharge our batteries. Things like going to the movies, having dinner in a nice restaurant. And this has been a year where there hasn't been a lot of available time to recharge those batteries or opportunities. And so when we take all of this into consideration, it's not surprising that more students were experiencing anxiety or depression, a phenomenon that was noted all over the world, by the way, not just in Israel. Our goal was to be proactive, not to wait for problems to occur. When we had the sense that an intervention was indicated, we would take the necessary steps. We believe in using the systemic approach, as we said, determining who needs to be involved in making that happen, meeting with students, with parents, with teachers, or with outside professionals when necessary. Typically, I meet with students regularly in their advisory groups, and I found that during virtual learning, it really worked better to have individual meetings with students, which I did on a regular basis. And in speaking with students, I found that at the beginning of the pandemic and at the beginning of our virtual learning program, they were kind of okay with sleeping later in the morning. They liked the casualness of the virtual learning from home, but not long afterwards, the novelty wore off and they missed their friends. They missed the environment of the in-school classroom, the environment of the campus, hanging out together at lunch. Even the simple things like being able to casually turn to your neighbor in class and say, what page are we on? And although some of them preferred virtual learning, most of them found it more challenging, more tedious, and therefore less satisfactory. But then we got back to school, and happy as they were to see their friends, they then complained about having to get up so early. But that complaint didn't last long, as they realized how much they really appreciated being back on campus and being back with their friends. So what's the message here? The message is that kids are resilient. So don't get caught up in their temporary complaints, happy now, less happy later, then once again adjusting to yet something else. This back and forth demonstrates their resilience and learning to be flexible with whatever comes their way. And this is such an important life skill. Amy?
Okay, so in normal years, I work with students in various capacities that include delivering social emotional classroom lessons, meeting in groups, and individual settings. And throughout the day for drop-in services when students need support navigating peer conflicts or individual challenges. And the pandemic posed many limitations and challenges for how I was able to connect with students personally while on a computer from home. So I adapted my program to provide all of the counseling services via Zoom. And since so many students were experiencing spikes in anxiety, loneliness, and to some extent apathy, I quickly created support systems to address these unique challenges in the elementary school. So instead of focusing my social emotional classroom lessons on skill building, I shifted the focus to providing a regular time for classrooms to meet, play games, share, build connections, and really just have fun. That was sort of the spirit we were trying to keep virtually. And my counseling groups provided students with a safe space to develop friendships, share, stay connected. And since many of our new students did not have this opportunity, it was really valuable to have that time. And we utilized students being at home as a strength and incorporated activities that allowed them to share parts of their world with me and their peers that they wouldn't normally be able to. When I met individually with students, the focus was on helping them to create hands-on, workable home learning schedules, balancing and managing their time, developing and practicing coping skills for everyday use. And then once we returned to campus, it was really exciting to see that, or not exciting, but it was interesting to see that students were faced yet with another transition. And it was clear just how much students had missed school, their teachers and each other. And it was exciting to see how quickly they adapted and showed their resiliency. So our elementary students already are expected to follow our 4 Bs. Be safe, be respectful, be responsible, and be kind. But now they have this added task of having to follow all the new pandemic guidelines and expectations. So asking a child not to touch others and practice social distancing and regularly wear a mask and wash their hands is a huge task. And it demands enormous restraint on their end, but they did it and they are doing it successfully. And for me, this was one of the most impressive outcomes of this year. And I'm just really proud of our elementary students. Joe?
And with that, I happen to have 2 elementary school kids. And you know how it's always hard to get kids out the door in the morning? Man, that first week back, they were ready like 15 minutes early each day. They were just so excited to go see their friends. And that energy that they have is infectious, and we have to. And it was great to see different things that were able to bring it out throughout the year. With that, there are some things that, like Rebecca and Amy were just saying, we were fortunate enough to be able to fairly successfully convert a lot of the stuff that we did for proactive and responsive care to Zoom. And there were many things that worked out actually better than I anticipated. Like I already do one-to-one meetings with all new kids and then other kids throughout the year, and it converted to Zoom really nicely. And then the individual and small groups that would fold off of those also converted pretty nicely. And the funny thing is, it wasn't that hard to get them initially because they were longing human contact. So they would actually show up, and sometimes they just wanted to chat about nothing, and that was great. And I also sent out wellness checks about every 4 weeks, and it just was a simple little survey, and students knew that if they didn't do it, I was going to be contacting their parents. So please do it, and miraculously they did, just because if nothing else, they didn't want me to contact their parents. But with that, I was surprised how many meetings that they actually sought out. It was a large percentage each time, and sometimes I also was able to have a fair number of meetings with kids and their parents, which wouldn't have been able to happen in most situations. But because everybody happened to be home, there were some good things that we could help make parents make plans to stay together and build together. And similarly, actually, I don't have the slide in front of me because I'm splitting my screen. Are we looking at the next slide? Which slide is up on the screen? It's, well, nonetheless, that one. That's the exact one. Thank you. Perfect spot for this slide that just popped up. I'm a solution-focused counselor, and what that means is I try to help students identify their strengths to create the solutions they want, to create the preferred future that they want. Okay, and with that, here's something that parents could even use at home if they wanted to. That for this, you could use it in multiple ways. One, if you have a chance to think about your child's strengths before you are talking to him or her, you can look at these things, and it's a great way to help you reframe some of the challenges that you see and think about how these can actually be looked at as strengths. And then you can think about, well, what kinds of things help bring these out? And then think about whatever the actual challenge is, and think about how you could build that together. Or you could even look at this with your child or spouse for that matter and say, what are the things that we really want to build? Like what's going well, what's working? And talk about what's working and what's going to look like, what it's going to look like when it goes one step farther. So if you use this or not, when you're talking with your children, oh, by the way, if you don't have middle schoolers or high schoolers yet, it's one thing that I have to prep you for is that it's very normal that friends get slotted first and somewhere between 4th and 8th grade, and they're going to talk to you less than ever. So that's totally normal when it happens. If just stop what you're doing and use that as an opportunity to listen to them and put down that carrot, put down that email, do whatever you're going to do, and then ask them what is their best hope for whatever they're talking about. After you listen, then ask them what is their best hope. Help them identify their strength, something they're good at tied to it, and then help them imagine and think about, the first small steps of when it's working, what it's going to look like, who's doing what, and help them create the picture in their mind. And then with all of this, if you have any future questions on conversation starters with your kids, you can just float me an email. And thank you.
So we can stop sharing now. Okay, so as we said earlier, we use a systemic approach by working with students, parents, teachers, and to that end, we held several counselor chats with parents this year, such as parenting during a pandemic. We have sponsored the NISA partnering with parents, and we hope many of you attended those sessions. We also led a teacher support group that met regularly throughout the year. That concludes our brief talk tonight. We would love to see you on Friday at 10 o'clock on our next Zoom counselor chat, which is entitled Self-Efficacy. What is it? How can we foster it in our children? And anxiety reduction. We encourage you to contact us whenever you have questions about your children, seek advice, or if you feel like you would like to better understand something. We can be reached by email, by phone. We can make Zoom meetings. We're here to support you. We're here to support your children so that they have the best educational experience. And thank you so much for inviting us tonight, and have a good evening.
Thank you so much, counselors. Just want to say that if there's any meetings or links or anything that you would like us to post on our social media, on our Facebook groups, and send through WhatsApp chats, just shoot us an email and we'll get it out as soon as possible. We'll try and promote that community and try and get more people to join.
Okay. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
And if you haven't seen it on the community calendar, it is 10 o'clock on Friday. Please join us if you can.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
I added the link into the chat.
Perfect. Okay, so Sarah, can we go back to the slides and where we ended up? Okay, library. Alana, hi, do you want to say a few words?
Sure. I just wanted to mostly reminders that if you want to see some of the recordings of our virtual author visits, they are in that folder there. Today we had a great visit with Roland Smith with the 6th grade. He has written about 50 books for middle schoolers, middle grade, many of them geared towards boys. So they're great novels. And so we had a great visit 2 times today. So if you want to see his or some of the other presentations, you can see them in that folder. We have another 2 this week with Sneed Collard, who is an author who visited us in person last year, but he's agreed to do 2 sessions with our students this week. And then we have Leslie Bullion for the early years and I have to go back to the slides so I remember. Steve Jenkins on April 20th with the 5th grade, and then Margaret Peterson Haddix, who's also a great writer. I mean, they're all great writers, but she also is geared towards middle school. So she's going to be visiting with our 7th and 8th grade students. And then just a reminder, if you don't know yet how to put books on hold for your students, you can fill out that form that's linked there to get a family membership, and we can fulfill your orders and deliver them to the gate or to your students. And it's kind of hard to believe, but it's getting towards the end of the year. And this is always a stressful time for the library, especially now with COVID, because we've been very, very flexible this year in terms of the number of books that kids have checked out. So we're going to start sending home reminders to students about what books they have checked out, as well as to parents if you have books checked out. So we would like you to please start returning your books that you no longer are using. And then I just want to give a shout out. We had 15 students in grades 3 to 7 who wrote a novel in November during as part of a program called NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month. And so 15 students wrote between 3,000 and 7,000 words, and they were published through a website called Blurb. The books look great. They even have like an ISBN number, and we ask families to give a library a copy of those books. We add them to the catalog so those students can see their names as authors in our catalog. And the family that has sort of facilitated this for us is leaving at the end of the year, because we do use the APO to get these books shipped. So we are looking for another US Embassy family who can help us with shipping. I know that there are certain restrictions, but the family that did it this year thought because it was educational related and because her own children participated, it was okay to use the APO. So if you know of any other US Embassy family who would be willing to serve as a conduit for those novels for us, then let me know.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Alana. Very informative. Okay, I believe I saw Miss Diana Pratt coming into the meeting.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Diana.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Thanks for joining.
I'm glad to be here. I just want to put a plug in for our digital age parenting workshops coming up in next week. So that's a week from Thursday. Is a workshop on cell phone parenting, and it's geared to, of course, all parents, and ideas about with cell phones and working with your children. It's also good for new parents, parents with younger children that they're thinking about getting cell phones. So when is the right age? What kind of phone? What kind of rules do you have? So if you would like to join, there's a sign up. It'll be in the Thursday bulletin. I guess it'll be the Wednesday bulletin this week and next week to sign up. You don't have to sign up though. The link is it'll be in the Thursday bulletin. Sorry. I want to give a plug also out to the NISA Parents Series too. I know coming up this week or tomorrow is one on digital well-being, and it's geared towards parents. It's got a guest speaker or a speaker that I really think is good. Anyway, I've been to a couple of those NISA parenting workshops myself, and I really think that they've got some good stuff. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer, but yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you so much, Diana.
Thank you.
Okay, so I believe, Devin put out a strategic planning survey, and he had a short video describing that. Devin, did you want to say a few words on that?
Sure, I just would appreciate as much feedback as possible. As a reminder, so you don't have to watch the video, I can give you a shorter version. We did we started our strategic planning. We had 2 World Cafes where we had 110 participants, including students, faculty, and parents. And that gave us information to start to begin to look for themes of ideas, different ideas. And then we'll use the survey. That's another way for input. We're also having smaller group conversations with groups of students. And then what we'll do is we'll have in May, mid-May, we'll be having a strategic planning, a half-day strategic planning, where we will prioritize, combine, and decide on what will be our strategic direction. And then it'll be the leadership team's responsibility to action that and move it forward. So we appreciate any input we can get.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, moving on. Oh, yep. Okay, so let's see, did we already do that? Okay.
Most of you should have received an email from Gideon today for kindergarten through grades 5 for after school activities. So make sure to respond as soon as possible, since those do fill up and it does usually have a waiting list. And then here's the 10th grade students doing the books that Ilana was talking about their fiction pieces, which is really neat. So
That's something else. That was a different project.
This is a different one? Oh, wow.
Yes. This was a short story project that they wrote on Book Creator, which is an online book creation tool. So that's something different.
Well, those are really cool. So I read them. So yeah, cool. Okay, I put those links in the chat as well. So
Sarah, can I just point out real quick? I do want to highlight the fact that the after-school activities are still at no charge to parents. I mean, that will not be the same next year, but this year we it's any way that we can increase the participation of students in activities. We want to do so for their well-being. So
awesome, it's great. So we've Marina, you want to talk about that since you spearheaded it? The tour?
Sure. I'm happy to announce that the school will be doing a in-person tour for new parents who were new this year for 2020 and 2021 year. And the tour will be on Saturday, April 18th. There's going to be
Sunday.
2 sessions.
Sunday.
One at 9:30 and one at 11.
Sunday.
I'm sorry, Sunday, April 18th. Sorry about that. And you should have gotten an email from the school inviting you to the tour with a form for you to fill out to RSVP. And if you did not get that email, you should probably contact the school and let them know you'd like to join in. It's for new parents.
Ada, I added in her email into the chat, so that's who you'll contact for the RSVP, and if you have any questions regarding that. And then, you want to say something, Ada?
Devin, would you
well,
like?
what I would add just very briefly is that we see this just so that you kind of know what we're planning. We can have groups of 50 people outdoors. So if we have over 50, we'll have to separate, but we'll do that. And then indoors, we can only have 20 people. So what we'll do is we'll break into smaller groups, and we'll have 3 routes that we're going on. And the tour will end with some light refreshments and some drinks so that parents can socialize a little bit at the end. So yeah, it should be, we're treating it not only as a tour of the school, but also as the first social event we've had for parents in a long time. And we really want an opportunity to welcome the new parents who have not had a chance, as Marina pointed out, to even see what the inside of the campus looks like.
It's true.
May I add that we were asked if children are allowed to participate. So we responded yes, and we got a response of, that's why we asked, how many are you? And we got responses. Some families are going to attend with kids. So, but it's exactly like Devin said, we are going to limit it up to 50 in each session. So once we are 50, we will have to say, that's it for this session. This is it for this time. So we are waiting till Wednesday, till we fill out, those slots. We are up to 46 in the first session already and 37 in the second session already. So,
Okay, and I encourage anybody on the PTA executive board, we can split between those two times. And if you're interested, please email Ada as soon as possible so she knows.
yeah.
And I need to do that. I haven't done it yet.
All right,
Thank
and
you.
re-enrollment is around here. The deadline is the 16th of April. It is not automatic. It does not just happen. You have to let the school know that you're coming back and that you want your kids to come back as well. So please make sure to look in the newsletter for those links. I've also added those into the chat as well. We have been up to a whole bunch of stuff here. So we've created a new logo, a new website. We worked with the athletics department in creating a new logo for them. I worked with Doran, and him and I came up with a new logo for the athletics department. So we'll probably be seeing that around school here pretty soon. We've been planning in-person get-togethers. We had our first coffee meeting for new families, and then we have another one being hosted, which we'll come up to in a second. But this one will be in, we'll talk about that soon. And we've been collaborating with the parent educational program. We've been working on, oh, you name it, we're working on it. So the PTA is really gearing up to launch and be very active for this next year. So again, if you guys have parents, you have anything you want to see, teachers, you have anything you want to see, please feel free to get a hold of us. Counselors, specials teachers, whoever, just anybody that's involved with the school, please let us know if you're looking for something that the PTA can really help with. Our next Coffee in the Garden is going to be April 30th at 10 a.m. in Evan Yehuda. You can apply to RSVP. We have to, of course, stay within numbers as usual. So you can RSVP through that bit.ly link. And then we'll have our third hosted coffee morning will be in May in Herzliya. And then we still need a host for June, our last coffee hosting. We teamed up with the art department for early years and elementary school and are going to be putting out a new greeting card that will have your child's specific artwork on it, and you can buy it in bundles of 25 or 50, and or you can put it on a notebook. This does not exclude middle school and high school. All we're going to ask is that you actually upload a piece of artwork or picture or whatever you'd like to create, and you can have the 25 greeting cards and or 50 greeting cards you'd like to buy, or a notebook with that picture put on there. We are doing Teacher Appreciation Week is coming up, everyone. And we have put together some really neat things. Every day for Teachers Appreciation Week, we'll have something special going on. We did, for Monday, we have high school, a kind of a separation for high school and middle school, and then elementary school and early years on how they'll submit things. You know how kids in the early years in elementary school like to hand things in. So they'll be handing things, their poems in here, and middle school and high school will be able to submit theirs, and the PTA will get those to the teachers. And then Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday is bring a flower for each of your teachers, and it can be live or it could be a drawing of one, but the goal is to create a whole bunch of flowers around saying how much we appreciate all of them. And then Wednesday, we'll be providing a little treat box for the teachers. And then Thursday will be bring a personalized gift. We've added in some shops that you can bring. And then Friday is an appreciation video that we are going to compile. So we'll need you parents to help film those, your students saying thank you and passing it off. And we have all these links and everything will be on our website, which we'll send to you here. And we have a little, don't forget on each one of these things that you have specialist teachers, art counselors, language teachers, library teachers, music, tech, PE, assistants, principals, or anyone else that you want to show your appreciation to, just make sure that you're thinking of everybody during Teacher Appreciation Week. So we have a new website, everyone. So cool. We were able to work with the Genius Bar students. They kind of helped us get started. And then Marina and I worked really hard on getting everything in it that we wanted to have in it. So please give us your feedback. Let us know what you like to see on there. And go check it out. It should be published and ready to go. It might not have the most recent stuff on there, but it will be on Wednesday. And then the last thing is we need you. We need a little help with the Teacher Appreciation Week with our artwork reading project. That will be just really just helping us stuff everything and get everything together and make sure we have everything packaged and everything. Which link to the Joe website? You can just go bit.ly/WBAIS PTA, and that will get you there. That should get you there. We just need a host for our last coffee morning. So we're still looking for one host. And then we do now have a head of our campus sustainability committee for next year. And we're looking for people to join her committee and help in making the campus more sustainable. And of course, next year, we need more members. We need club members. We need event volunteers and room parents. But what the awesome thing is that every single sign up is on our website. Oh, yes, I definitely wrote that wrong. Thank you, Marina. Oh, next month, we'll be doing our new PTA board vote. Laura?
Hi again. Okay, so yeah, like Sarah said, we're looking for volunteers to do anything that you're interested in. I mean, if you want to be on the board, that's great. You want to head up a club on our website and be the main spokesperson in a club, in a book club. It could be a movie club. It could be Israel 101. It could be anything. We need volunteers to help us promote events. But back to being on the board, it's just really rewarding. There's just so many reasons why you should join to be on the board. Giving back to the community is absolutely the most rewarding thing that we can all do. It helps foster connections and relationships between all of us, parents, teachers, and students. And that's the only way that we can be successful, is if we all help each other and come together. Because if we're not out there connecting, then nothing really happens. It's an opportunity to share your thoughts and your ideas for the future, because we always need new ideas. They're so valuable. It helps support programs and events for student experiences and success. And just joining the board last year and this year, I mean, we all work so well together. We have such a great group of ladies. Last year we had Albert Saito. He was our president. He and it was we welcome men and women. We appreciate all the help from everybody, and it's just such a good collaborating, supportive group. And it's really rewarding, and it's something that I think parents, teachers, and our children really appreciate. So please reach out to us and just tell us what you're interested in, and we'll let you know what the options are. Okay, so some upcoming events. We have, actually, I meant to introduce Julie. Julie was going to talk on a few things. And I think, Julie, you are involved in NESA as well. We have another session coming up April 13th. And you were also going to talk about another topic. Julie,
I
I'm
was going to
sorry.
talk about strategic planning, but Devin
Strategic
did that,
planning.
which is great. And I encourage everybody to not only click on the survey link, let's also send it around to all the PTA WhatsApp groups. Now that everyone's back from spring break, hopefully we can drum up some interest in completing the survey. Also, don't forget to watch the video. Devin, if he decides to change professions, which I hope he does not, can have a career making movies. So I really have enjoyed the movies this year. I hope we have more movies and lots of ways to communicate with our parent body, with all of us. Actually, teachers on the call also. The survey is for everyone in the community. So everyone, please click it on. And I wasn't going to talk about NISA, but I have to reiterate what Diana Pratt said, which is that the NISA offerings has been outstanding. I'm not sure a lot of our parents have been taking advantage of them, but they are, you know, these once a month webinars with leading educational experts around the world, and they're all recorded. So you can watch, you can listen to them and watch them on your own time. So I strongly recommend that that we spread the word on that. And of course, PTA, thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you, Julie. I'm sorry, we just kind of got a little excited with our slideshow, and then I meant to reintroduce you. So thanks for touching on those topics. So yeah, we have Israeli Memorial Day. This is a bit busy week for events and Independence Day, and as Alana said, there's a virtual authors visit. We have virtual conferences coming up, and spring MAP testing for grades 3 through 5 is coming up. Okay, so this is something that our PTA has been talking about for the last year. You know, after moving into January 2020, everything just kind of halted. We weren't able to do any of our PTA events that everyone looks so forward to on campus. And the same thing happened this year. We all had to just kind of coast along and adapt to all the changes and adapt to all the closures and try and reinvent how we were all going to stay connected. So nothing could happen on campus. I imagine moving into the fall, the school is going to be cautious. I mean, it's really always a wait and see kind of situation. I mean, things are getting better. So I think we're all hopeful. We're all hopeful that maybe next year, going into the fall, that we can start to do an event here, and okay, that went well, and let's keep the numbers controlled. Okay, that went well, maybe we can do the next event. So I think it's going to be, we're all going to be treading on cautious ground. We also have to prepare for things not being able to go on campus. What does that mean? Well, we need a little help, and we're hoping that families can help us out financially. Just a minimum donation of 50 shekels per family for the year. And if everybody participates, it'll really help kind of replenish some funds in our bank, some funds that we were not able to raise in the last year and a half. And so if we get those funds from people and we start to collect, even if we can't do events on campus, we can do other fun things for the kids. I mean, maybe we help with you know, a party on campus, and we take care of bringing in pizza or food or whatever the case may be. Maybe there's some events that can happen off campus that the PTA does. We like to do things during Halloween, treat bags. We like to do the stockings, and the Hanukkah bags were a great success. And then there's just, you know, things that we could do extra if we can't do our scheduled, much loved events that everybody looks forward to. So we really need your help in that area. So that's going to be on our website. And we're hoping that parents are receptive to that leading into next year. So I think we can move on from that topic. If there's any questions that anyone has, of course, hope everybody knows where to find us on Facebook. We have 2 groups. You can connect to us through our email. We also have WhatsApp chats that we have in, I believe it's 3 divisions. It's early years, elementary, middle school, high school. So we're connecting to with more parents that way. But with our new website, it's just so exciting. I think it's long overdue, and we have everything up there. We're going to have all our news, all of our contact information, our PTA store, anything that, any promotions where we have, parents can purchase things up on our website. And we're going to have event photos, and it's going to be great. And our calendar. I mean, we're just so excited to launch this. Also, Sarah is working on a new logo. This was as you see under the questions, that this was kind of past year's logo, but she's tweaking, she's working with Doron, and got several ideas for a new logo. So there could be different logos for different parts of the school, whether it's sports or the PTA board or what have you. But we're so excited that is able to happen this year, and it's only going to grow from here on out.
This is the one we kind of landed on. So now we're just tweaking colors and whatnot.
Yeah. Is there anything that anyone else would like to add that maybe we didn't get to you, or you feel like you need to mention at this point, or have we covered everything that everyone wants to say tonight? Pretty much. Okay, that's great. And as always, we record our PTA monthly meetings. So, we're always looking for parents